This is Ronald Grover. Welcome to my channel. We are going to look at some basics of C++ programming. C++ programming, it is a programming language that is used to create application. It's an object-oriented programming language. So we are going to use an integrated development environment which is called dev. Yeah, to launch dev, in the start here, type dev. If it is already installed on your computer, you see dev C++, and then it starts. So when dev gets launched, that is how it looks like. And now this is where we are going to be creating our programs, compile them, link them, and debug them where necessary, and then run them. So to start a file, to start programming, you can click this icon, which is new, or you go to file, then you go to new, then source file, or the shortcut is Ctrl N when you get that interface. So this is how the interface looks like, and then we start developing our C++ program. This dev C++, it is an IDE that can be used to develop both programs for C and C++ programming. Now, without wasting time, if please you have not subscribed to the channel, subscribe so that you are the first one to get updates whenever a video is uploaded. Okay, so how do you write a C++ program? It always starts with the hash, then you put include, smaller letters please, smaller letters, no capital. Then you open that, then you put iostream. Yes, that is a library file that allows to input and output data into our program. Then we have namespace. We are having our program. Yes, we have after that header file, then we say using namespace std colon, then we say int main, that is the main function, and then you open the block. Now in this inside here, this is where our codes are going to be created. Always a C++ program has those headers that I've just indicated, and then what comes next. Now this is where you are creating your work. You can see it is numbering the lines of code 1, 2, 3 up to 5. Each time you press enter, a new line is created. But now let us start with the very basic one. Maybe you want to output something on the screen. We use a function which is called cout, then followed by those symbols. And now if you're going to output a string or a list of characters, letters, you put them in double quotes and say, for example, hello world, welcome to C++. Yes, then after that you terminate. So that is using a semicolon, that is terminating. So now we have created a program that is going to output the word hello world, welcome to C++. Now, after creating your program, you're supposed to save it. You can use this shortcut or Ctrl S, or we can go to File and then you hit Save As. The Save As dialog box will be presented to you. You choose where you want to save your programs. If you want, you can create a new folder where you come here, say create a new folder, then that folder, let me call it YouTube videos. Yes, and then you click open so that it opens. Or unfortunately, I double clicked and I didn't give it a file name. Yes, can go back, save as. Yes, it's already here. I can change it, right click, and then I select rename. I give it a meaningful name. Maybe let me call it introduction C plus plus. Yes, this is now the file name. You click on it, you come here, then you click save. Do you want to replace? Yes. Okay, so now this is our file. After saving the file, next you can compile. Compiling means move these characters that you have just typed on the screen from a high level language to a low level language, which is a binary language. So to compile, you go to execute, then you click compile. The shortcut is F9. So to compile, it is going to check whether you have mistakes in your program or not. If there are mistakes, uh, they will be identified. Like now where you see this color here, that means there is, so when you say I or stream, there is an A there. That's why it has complained. After you save, Control S, then you compile by pressing F9. Yes, you can see here it is compiling. Now compilation time, once it returns the compilation time and no errors, it means it has been compiled. Next is executing it. Go back to execute, then you click run. The shortcut is F10. Yes, so it is running program. Hello world, welcome to C++. So that is our output. That is our output. But for you, when you launch dev, you will see that this screen will be black. We can change it. You right click within there, the title, then you go to properties, then the properties, you can say select the screen colors. If you want, you can put it black, you can give it any color, you can choose to make it green, you can make it red. You choose whatever you want, you click OK, then you click enter. Then you run the program. If you don't want to come to this, there are certain tools here that you can use. Compile is here, then run is there. Then there is also compile and run at the same time. So you click that to compile and run. Yes. So hello world, welcome to C++. Yes. Again, what we can do with this window, you can right click, go to properties, then we can also increase the size of the font. So this is the colors, then you come here, font, this is 28, I can choose 36, then click OK. Yeah, you can see now our output is big. Okay, I can make it bigger. Yes, or 72. Let me just type there font. Let me make it 40. Yes. So enter to close that window. So that is how we write a simple C++ program. Anything you want to output, we use a function which is called cout. Maybe I need something else to output something else. Cout. I put 4 plus 6. Then each time you have to terminate. Whatever you do, let's see. Now at this, compile and run, where you can hit F11. Yes. So hello world, welcome to C++ 10. So C++ ignores white spaces. So all these white spaces are ignored such that the result is put here. Now, if you want this one to come on its own line, here, just after that, we put again those ones and then put end line like that, ENDL. That is going to create a new line and it will be displayed down there. Compile and run. Yeah, now you can see that value 10 is on its own line. However, this one has no meaning. We can give it some caption. Put quotes, say the sum of the two values is, so the sum will be put there, then you put these symbols there. So it will add this one and then you put the sum here. Let's compile and run. You hit F11. Yes, you can see now it has meaning. The sum of two values is 10. But which two values? Now, these programs, the C++ has what we call variables. What is a variable? A variable is a named location for storing data. Data is stored in a place which is called the variable. These variables can be declared, and they are declared by giving the type of data that they are going to store and their name, and then we can give it a value. For example, let's have a variable x. We put equal sign. That one now means we are storing a value in x. Which value? Maybe it is 7. But now then you terminate. But we have not given which type of data is x going to store. So we say int. That means that x will always store integers, whole numbers. Then on the same line, we can also declare another variable which is going to store maybe decimal places. Maybe you can say float. That one stores decimal places. Float y. Let the variable be called y, which is going to store a decimal place number. Then which decimal place number is it going to store? Let me store there 3.5. Then terminate. Now there I have created two variables, x and y, and I've stored their values. X is storing a whole number 7, y is storing a floating point number 3.5. Now instead of adding these ones here straight away, I can simply say x plus y, because already x has a value and y has a value. So let's save, Control S, and then compile and run. You hit F11. Yes, you can see the sum of the two values is 10.5 because x is storing 7 and y is storing 5. Now there are operators. For example, I can say just multiply them. So instead of saying the sum, we can say the product. The product of, by the product of what? Okay, let's first save, then compile and run. Yes, so you can say the product of two values is 24.5. That is 3.5 times 7. But I can choose even to bring the actual values that I'm talking about. Instead of saying the product of two values, I can say the product of 7 and 3.5 is, okay. Now let me say the product of, I close the quote, of what, then I put this, then the product x. Now the value which is stored in x is going to be put here, the actual value. Then after that, again I put those quotes, the product of x, and I say and the product of x and and what? Then again I put this and y. Then I put that. Yes, is, look at what I've just done. So this is the product of x and y is x times y. Now what is going to happen is that it is just going to pick a value which is stored in x and put it here. A value stored in y and it will put it here. Save, Ctrl S, then F11 to run and compile at the same time. You see? The product of 7 and 3.5 is 24.5. But you can see 7 is very near and even 3.5 is very near and there is no space. This space you can put it there. Just get here, put a space, and even get there, put a space. Now everything is going to be fine. It is going to look fine. Ctrl S and then F11. Yes, you can see the product of 7 and 3.5 is 24.5. But the moment you change this by the, instead of 3.5, let me just store there 3 and see what happens. Remember, we have stored 3, which is a whole number. It has been stored in a float, but it is going to take it as an integer. 7 times 3 is 21. So those are variables. So these variables, we can use them in any way we want. For example, we can say maybe x divided by y. That is the division sign. 7 divided by 3. What do we get? Compile and run. See, 7 divided by 3 is 2.3333. However, if you had declared y as an integer, int, what would happen? Ctrl S, F11, 7, do you see? The product of 7 and 3 is 2, because x is integer and y is integer. So what you are doing integer division. So it does not return decimal place numbers. It chops off the 7 point, I mean the 2.3333, that part is chopped off, because what you're doing, you are storing an integer, you are carrying out integer division. Let's see, even if you carry out 8 divided by 3, what will it be? It is still 2. But the moment you make one of them a floating point number, the situation is going to change. It is okay, you can make one of them or you can make both of them floating point. Now there you have some floating point part which is being returned. Yes, then there is also this operation here. Instead of that division, there is what we call modulo division. What that one is doing is to return the remainder when x is divided by y. X divided by y, what is the remainder? That's what we are interested in. Okay, there is a challenge here. It is comparing invalid operation of types float and int to binary operator. Yes. Now here it has complained because we are combining float and integers, and yet what you're returning is supposed to be an integer. So what do? What happens if we make both floats? Float. So we are storing there decimal place numbers. It is still complaining. So that means we have to make it an integer, because the remainder is always an integer. Remainder. It has to be an integer. Yeah. Each time we make a change, you save and then you run. Yes, 8 divided by 3, the remainder is 2. Supposing this one is 11. No? Maybe 10. Yes, 10 divided by 3, the remainder is 1. Yes, but it is still giving you the product because you have not changed your documentation inside here. The remainder, supposing this is this and maybe y is 6. What will be the remainder when you save? F11. Control S, then F11. You see? Yes, 10 divided by 6, the remainder is 4. So that is the modulo division. Those are some of the mathematical operators, arithmetic operators, sorry. Those are the arithmetic operators. And this one here is called assignment operator. That one there and this one here, they are assignment operators. But now, sometimes we might be interested in not giving a program a value, but we want a user who is running a program to supply it with a value. What does it mean? That we have just declared X. That simply means create a memory which is called X. Create a storage space in memory and call it Y. That's what it does. But because these two are the same, again it is possible to declare them using one line. Even there, that one is the same as the previous one. You have declared the X and Y, both of type integers. And now, okay, we don't want to, maybe, okay, leave hello world, but now we want a user to enter a value. But a user must be prompted to enter value. So you first prompt a user to enter a value. Okay. Say, please enter the value of X. Yes, terminate. Now, how is the user going to enter the value? We use a function which is called cin, followed by those two greater than symbols, as if you're saying cin is double greater than. Okay, cin X, terminate. That one now will allow the user to enter the value of X via the console. Okay. Then next, we also want the user to enter the second value. Please enter the value of Y. Close the quotes and terminate. How? You have to supply the cin, which is going to allow the user enter that value, and then which value of Y. That Y is here. The value you enter is going to be stored in a memory location called Y. Then after, you have here cout, the remainder of X. Now to repick the value of X, you have that you have stored, you have entered, it will put it there. And the value of Y that you have entered, it will be put there. Then after, it will return the modulo arithmetic. Any is possible. It could be modular arithmetic, it could be division, it could be multiplication, subtraction, anything. Let's leave it at that. Save, compile, and run. If your program has no errors, it will run. Hello world, welcome to C++. Remember, that is our first statement there. Cout, hello world, welcome to C++. Now this statement, please enter the value of X. It is this one. Now this blinking bar that you see here, that insertion point, it has been brought as a result of this function here, cin. then x. Okay. Enter the value of x, 50. Please enter the value of y, 10. When you're done, press enter. Now it is giving you the remainder of 50 and 10 is 0. But this is not making sense. The remainder of 50 divided by y is, and these things here, remember the other time the insertion point was coming too close to x, so click there, put a space. Even here click, put a space, so that you have some whatever. Save, and then F11 to compile and run at the same time. You see now the insertion point is not as close to this one, so put there 50, enter the value of y, 10. The remainder of 50 divided by 10 is 0. Okay. So that is how we enter values via the keyboard. Anything can be done. Anything can be done. Now we are free here to do anything. We are free to do anything. And immediately after this, let us create a new line. Bring that and then put NL. Then after, enter. Now how cout, and say the average, sorry, of what? You can put there, sorry, this quote has to be inside there. The average of what? X. And yes, and what? Y. What is it? Is when quotes is what? You can put this in bracket, x plus y divided by, sorry, the division is not there, it must be outside the bracket, divide by 2, terminate. Okay. That would return the average. The average of x and y is this. Now this is the formula that you have supplied. Save, compile, and run. Yes, please enter a value. I am entering maybe 3. Please enter a value of y. I am entering 7. The remainder of 4 divided by 7 is 4, because it is impossible. Then the average of 4 and 7 is 5. Now you need to do some formatting there, so that you have space between 7, the word and, 7, 5, the word 4, the word and, 7, and the word is, and then 5. That one is very easy. You just create a space there, create a space there, create a space before is, and create a space after s. Save, Ctrl S, F11. So you are compiling and running. So I'm entering a value of x is 7, the value of y is 4. Sorry. So the remainder of 7 divided by 4 is 3. The average of 7 and 4 is 5. So folks, that is how we do that is how we use C++ programming. A lot can be done with C++, but this is, I think, a basic introduction. We have learned how to create variables. We have learned how to enter values, display them on the screen, and even enter data via the keyboard. That is enough. So what is remaining you can go ahead and then look at other operators. We have also looked at mathematical operators. You can look at logical operators and see how they work. Logical operator and, logical operator or, maybe the not, even the comparison operators, the greater than, the less than, the equal to. How do we use them here? Yes, you can make a research about that. So please, if you have not subscribed, subscribe so that you are the first one always to know whenever a new video is added. Please do not forget to share and like, also comment. Thank you very much. Meet again yet for another video which is going to be very entertaining. Thank you. God bless you.